What's going on, boys, and welcome to my patch 719 mid lane tier list. Today I'm going to be going over some of the stronger picks on 719 that you can abuse to gain elo with. Kicking it off in my S tier, you've got the 3 roamers starting off. You've got Aurelion, Twisted Fate, and Talia. I think these 3 are just perfect for SoloQ. They've got so much map pressure, their laning phases aren't too bad, and I just think that if you spam these champions over 719, you're going to win more than you lose, and you're going to climb. You've got the anti-mage, you've got Kassadin. It's a great counter to every single AP mage. Pick Kassadin, you slowly scale up and take over the game at 2 items. Vladimir, probably the best team fighter right now. He's insane at 2 items. Usually it's going to be a Proto Belt into Ludens. Then you can go Void, Deathcap. You just obliterate the enemy team. In Korean high elo, you'll see Vladimir almost every second game just tear apart team fights. You've got Talon, the AD assassin. I think Talon is a better version of Zed. He doesn't struggle in the matchups as hard. He has better roaming with his E, his wall jump. And then lastly, you've just got the Freelo, the Malzahar. If your mechanics aren't very good, you've got, high ping, you're a little bit laggy or something, you're not confident in your skill, maybe you're off roll, pick Malzahar. I mean, it only takes 10 to 20 games to really grasp the concept of Malzahar. And if you spam this champion, you're gonna climb. It's that easy. Tell your team to group up around an objective. Flash, ultimate, their carries, and usually it's going to be a free kill. Especially in below, I'd say Diamond 3, Malzahar is the best. When you get a little bit higher, people know how to lane a lot better and abuse the Malzahar. But below Diamond 3, spam Malz, you have no problems climbing. Heading down to my A tier mid laners, you got LeBlanc, who I actually left out on the last tier list, mainly due to the nerfs she's been getting and her struggles to carry, but I definitely think she belongs to be on a SoloQ list. If you work it in with a jungler, especially if you're duo, you just freeze the wave. You saw what Jensen did in Worlds. You freeze the wave, set it up for level 3 ganks, and you just abuse the chains. Level 6, you just double chain, lots of CC, so much mobility. That's why LeBlanc is on the list today. Although she struggles to carry into the late game, I think she has enough potential to snowball the early game. Then you've got Echo, great side laner, super safe. Cassiopeia, Corki, Syndra, Fizz, Anivia. And then you've got Azir, which is a strange one for this list. The patch that just came through had a big buff to Azir. I've actually played a couple of Azir games, and I'm going to be honest, mid to late, Azir feels absolutely broken. If you get a team fight where you're 3 soldiers untouched, there's nothing that matches Azir damage right now. It's pretty broken. The only problem is it's a very high skill cap. He does sort of struggle in a couple of matchups, but most of the time, Azir has a pretty easy time of just scaling to the mid to late. I wouldn't put him in my S tier, mainly due to the lack of pressure on side lanes, as opposed to some of the better control mages such as Talia. And then you've just got the Freelo, the Any, of course. Similar to the Malzahar, if you've got bad mechanics, if you're not very confident with the mid lane, take the Any. It's very basic. It's super hard to lose lane on the Any. Sit back, relax, press ultimate in the team fight, and you'll probably come out ahead. But lastly, for my B tier champions, you got the tank in the mid lane, Galio. I think Galio definitely deserves to be here. With the rise of Ezreal jungle, you'll find a lot of your team comps have no tank, especially with an Ardent. So say you have Cog Lulu, but then you have no tank. I think Galio is the perfect pick. It gives your team a tank, some CC, frontline for your Cog, your Ardent to really carry with, as opposed to going a squishy mage. Next up is Vel'Koz. It's a great counter to these short range mages that are appearing. I'd pick Vel'Koz into things like Azir, Ryze. It's really good. Stock standard Orianna. You've got Ryze coming up as well. The Ryze buffs have definitely been very kind to him, although I wouldn't say he's S tier at all. He still definitely lacks a couple of fundamentals that some of the other mid laners have. He's very short ranged. It's very hard to carry on him. It takes him a while to scale up. Karthus, Zillion, Swain, Ziggs, Xerath, and lastly Veigar. I've played a couple of Veigar games, and I'm not going to lie, he does still struggle in the early game, but if you make it to mid to late on Veigar with the W buffs, it is stupid. I think I hit a game about 30 minutes, and my W was on a 2.5 second cooldown doing like 1k damage. So 1k damage every 2.5 seconds. It was insane. I definitely think Veigar has its moments. Don't blind pick Veigar. They're just going to pick an assassin, something mobile that's going to really smash you in, but if you get the counter pick with a Veigar and you see it's going to be an easy laning phase, I would say something. I'd probably pick Veigar into, I like to pick into an Azir, into maybe a Twisted Fate or something. That's really not going to harass you that much early, especially if you're utilizing the movement speed quints I recommend. I think it could definitely be a big pick on 719. So that sums up my 719 mid lane tier list, guys. I hope it's helped. I'm going to be streaming after this. Come by with a couple of questions. I have left out some specific champions. Things that are more one-trick worthy. I think that things like Yasuo don't really deserve to be on a tier list, but are strong champions. But you're going to need 300-400 games of Yasuo to really make it work in SoloQ. The same could be said for a top lane Riven. I don't like to include Riven on tier lists, but I think that if you master the champions, they are good, but they're very niche, so they're not really deserve to be on the tier list. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.